Hey, welcome! So today we're digging into something that you'll find in pretty much every workplace, but it's often, totally misunderstood. We're talking about the safety manual. We're going to break down why a custom-built manual is so much more than a box you have to check. It's actually a vital tool that protects your people and your business.
All right, let's just jump right in with a question that probably hits home for a lot of you. Be honest, is your safety program a living, breathing part of how you work, or is it just another binder sitting on a shelf collecting dust? Because believe me, the answer to that question matters. A lot. And this right here really shows you the difference. It's like a tale of two manuals. On one side, you've got your generic template. The procedures are vague, the info is probably old, and it's basically a guaranteed red flag in an audit. But on the other side, you've got a custom manual. It's built specifically for your operations. It's up to date with the latest laws, and it is designed from the get-go to be completely audit-ready.
And that leads us straight to our first big idea here, the hidden danger of that one-size-fits-all mindset. When it comes to keeping your team safe, generic just doesn't cut it.
When you strip it all away, a safety manual has one main job: to get rid of any and all confusion. It's supposed to be the one place everyone can go to understand exactly how to do their work safely. Clear protocols are what stop an accident before it even has a chance to happen.
So this brings us to the next big hurdle, which is trying to navigate the incredibly complicated world of compliance. And it's not as simple as just following one rule book. For most businesses, it's more like a maze.
For so many Canadian companies, especially in those high-risk fields, this slide is just daily life. You're not just dealing with provincial OHS. You often need certifications like COR or SECOR, that's Certificate of Recognition, just to even bid on jobs. And then on top of all that, your big clients are using these huge platforms like ISNetworld, ComplyWorks, and Avetta to screen every single part of your safety program.
And this is really the key. These groups don't just want to see your binder. They demand detailed, documented proof that your safety plan is specific to the work you do and that your team is actually following it out in the field. A generic off-the-shelf manual? There's just no way it can provide that kind of detail.
And let's be clear, the consequences for failing are huge. This is way more than just a bad report card from an audit. We're talking about serious fines, stop work orders that can shut you down, and maybe worst of all, getting locked out of the big contracts you need because your safety program just isn't up to snuff.
Okay, so if the generic route is so risky, what's the answer? Well, it's about moving past the idea of just having a binder. It's about building a true safety system that's made just for your company.
When a manual is really built for you, it stands on these four key pillars. First, and obviously the most important, it protects your workers with procedures that actually make sense for their day-to-day jobs. Second, it makes sure you pass those critical audits. Third, it gets everyone on the same page, which makes communication so much better. And finally, when people know the plan and feel safe, your whole operation just runs smoother. Efficiency goes way up.
So how does this actually happen? Let's take a look at the process that a specialist company like OnTrack Safety uses to turn a company's specific needs into a real, working, compliant safety program.
They follow this really clear, logical path. It all starts with discovery. They learn everything about what you do, where you do it, and who you need to keep happy on the compliance side. Then they create custom content that actually mirrors what your crews do in the field. They brand it all with your logo so it looks professional and credible. And, this is crucial, they don't just email you a file and say good luck, they give you a guide to actually put it all into practice.
So what you get at the end of the day is a whole safety toolkit. The manual itself comes in an editable format, so it can change as your business grows. You get a massive library, up to 80, of practical, fillable forms like hazard assessments. You get safe work practices written for your specific tasks. And you get that implementation plan to make it all click from day one.
And you can see, this kind of tailored approach is absolutely essential for a whole range of Canadian industries. A huge chunk of this work is in construction and oil and gas, of course, but it's also critical for transportation and manufacturing. Basically, any industry where having specific, documented safety rules is just non-negotiable.
But what does all this mean for companies out there in the real world? Let's talk about the actual impact of going from a generic document to a custom safety program you can actually use. This quote from an operations lead just says it all, doesn't it? That whole compliance process can feel totally overwhelming, but having an expert to guide you through it makes it simple and gets you results. I mean, passing a huge audit like COR on your first try with 0 revisions, that is a massive win. It saves time, money, and a ton of stress.
And that kind of success doesn't just happen by accident. It's built on years of experience. Think about it. When a company has worked with over 350 clients every single year since 2008, like OnTrack has, you build up this incredible knowledge of what auditors are looking for and what actually works in the field.
Here's another fantastic perspective, this time from an HSE manager. I love that word patchwork. It perfectly describes what so many old manuals are like. This really highlights the transformation from a confusing mess to a clean, professional program that gives your own teams and your clients confidence. That kind of credibility is priceless.
Okay, so let's tie this all together. Here are the big things to remember. First, trying to get by with a generic safety manual is a serious risk to your business. Second, a custom manual is built for 2 things: compliance and real-world use. Third, the right program is an investment that protects your people and can actually make your business run better. And finally, working with an expert just makes the whole thing faster, simpler, and way more effective.
And that really leaves us with one final and I think critical question to ask yourself. Is your company's safety program built to last, or is it just built to pass? Are you just trying to get through the next audit? Or are you building a true safety culture that's designed to protect your people and grow your business for the long haul? The answer really does make all the difference.